it gives me great pleasure to welcome the graduating class of 2019. Thanks to our team for that rather triumphant music there. Parents, grandparents, and other honoured guests, members of the Board of Governors, alumni, students and friends, we'd ask you please to remain standing while Go Lemkwell leads us in O Canada. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you all for the last act of our school year, our annual Closing Day Awards. I'd like to tell you all that this ceremony is going out via live stream to those friends of Shawnigan who cannot be present in person today. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our platform party. On my left, my lovely and deeply supportive wife, Kathini. And highly tolerant. And Matt Clinton Baker, Director of Student Life. She needs no introduction. On my right, Erica Dalrymple, Director of Residential Life. And Wendy Milne, Assistant Head, Academics. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the other members of the senior leadership team present today, and I'll ask them to stand so we can acknowledge you. Gaynor Samuel, Rod Samuel, Rudy Massimo, Nicola Oldfield, and John Neelan. I'm hugely fortunate to work with such a talented, committed, and supportive team. I'd also like to introduce my executive assistant, Cheryl Miranda. My outer office is a permanent hub of activity, positivity, and kindness. Cheryl cherishes and preserves the dignity and integrity of all who come through the door. Loyal, discreet, and highly respected, she encourages me on a daily basis to be the best version of myself. And I'm hugely grateful for her support over the course of this year. And I'd also like to introduce Cindy McPherson, who's coordinated all the logistics, the diplomas, the certificates, the letters, and everything else today. Stand on up, Cindy. We do have a number of current governors of Shawnigan Lake School who are here, and I'd ask them to stand and be recognised for the terrific work they have done and continue to do in support of the school. Belle Akinyosoye, Janet Lecky Grisdale, and Stephen Wong. I'm delighted that we have two former chairs of the board, John Kay and Bob Murdoch. Please stand. And we also have Bruce Hauser, a former governor of the school, here as well. Wherever you are, Bruce, please stand. So the governors, past and present, a huge thank you for your support and passion for Shawnigan. I'd also like to give a special welcome to the Executive Director of the Independent Schools Association of British Columbia, Elizabeth Moore. There are water stations located at the top of the gardens to refill your water bottle if needed. There's some recyclable water bottles available for those who do not have one with them. Please stay hydrated. You are, of course, welcome to take your jackets off, given the weather, but we ask that those coming up to the podium during the course of the ceremony put their jackets on. Now to my address. I'm sort of very nervous papers are going to fly off in different directions. The commission to give an address at this graduation has guided me to our library in order to learn more about the history of our school and the island. And I can also hear the staff voices. Keep it short. We're timing you. Remember, we're suffering from heat exhaustion in our academic gowns. And don't fall or be pushed into the lake as you navigate your first closing day. This is indeed a time for exploration, and I take it as my metaphor today. This morning in chapel, we heard two prayers attributed to Sir Francis Drake, Englishman, sea captain, adventurer, and circumnavigator of the globe. The founder and first headmaster of Shawnigan, C.W. Lonsdale, drew great strength from one of the prayers which we know as the Founder's Prayer. It reminds us of the importance of not just the beginning, but the challenge and endeavour of the journey each of us has embarked upon. This was Lonsdale's favourite prayer, and he is reported to have read it frequently. Perhaps it captures his journey of discovery, dogged determination, his great endeavour to carve a school out of the British Columbian wilderness in 1916, and his lifelong dedication to the development of Shawnigan. The second prayer, read by Sarah Rourke and Marcus Bergvinson in chapel, is said to have been written by Sir Francis Drake before he set sail from Portsmouth in England, coincidentally my birthplace, on the Golden Hind on a voyage to this Pacific coastline. In the prayer, he asks God to challenge us to dare more boldly, to venture on wider seas, and to push back the horizons of our hopes. It's a prayer that challenges each of us to imagine new worlds, to dream dreams, and to sail beyond the horizon. I too stand in front of you as a new arrival. The Lamonts chose to leave the fjords of Norway to join you here on Vancouver Island, our own family adventure. British Columbia has a strong and proud tradition of explorers, from Simon Fraser to Spanish navigators. On the back of your programs, we have produced the chart printed in 1798, which captures the navigation and exploration of the northwestern Pacific coastline by Captain George Vancouver aboard HMS Discovery. A life-sized gold statue stands astride the central globe at the top of the government building in Victoria, where we hold part of our annual Shawnigan Model United Nations. Vancouver first set sail aged 13 as a young officer on an expedition led by Captain Cook. On HMS Discovery in the 1790s, Captain Vancouver carried out a survey of every inlet and outlet on this coastline. His gold statue gazes out upon the coast that he did so much to define. His published account of the expedition was entitled A Voyage of Discovery. Given that indigenous people had lived along the coast for tens of thousands of years before, it proved to be a voyage of mutual discovery, as the coast became a contour for the meeting of cultures. Both geographically and metaphorically, Shawnigan stands as a natural harbour for you as students, and strives to provide safe and secure anchorage, a place for sea trials, a place to lose your bearings and to find them again, a place to charter new waters and to connect with different cultures. It has been a personal voyage of discovery for all of us. It's important that we teach you to test yourselves in order that you acquire the skills necessary to navigate through dangers and deceptions. In Drake's prayer, he guides us that where losing sight of land, we shall find the stars. Here at Shawnigan, we aim not just to teach you the names of the stars, but how to read and navigate by them. We invite you, our students, to be map makers, to sound the waters, to voyage out away from the trade routes and discover new frontiers, equipped with a moral compass, a logbook of experience, and a pioneering sense of adventure. On departure from Norway, one of my friends sent me a postcard with a quotation from the Motorcycle Diaries, the memoir of Che Guevara's adventures across South America as a young doctor. What do we leave behind when we cross each frontier? Each moment seems split in two, melancholy for what was left behind, and the excitement of entering a new land. The postcard lives in my office as a reminder of my friends and family at home, and also as a reminder of the excitement and adventures ahead. This is undoubtedly an exciting time for our Shawnigan graduates, with new frontiers to cross and important challenges on the horizon. For all of you, in some sense, it is a journey into the unknown, into risk, towards life's improbabilities. What you learn about yourself and your friends along the way is at the heart of the experience. And I'm certain that the invaluable friendships forged here will nourish you for many years to come. I ask that in your lives, you continue to place emphasis on conversation, compassion, and community, the mortar of an institution like this. Yet when the waters ahead seem frightening, please remember that you do have the inner strength, perseverance, as per our word shirt this year, and courage to continue your exploration, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all the staff for their support of students over the course of this academic year. It's been our responsibility as staff here at Shawnigan to accompany you on your journey so far, not as your friends, but as your guides, charged by your families to help steer you to this day. A good teacher, a good guide, is one who makes himself or herself progressively unnecessary. I shall remember you vividly and with deep affection as the students I started with, and I'd like to thank you for your support and guidance over the past year. Your legacy as a grade 12 group has been to ensure that Shawnigan is a secure and inclusive place in which students of all profiles can flourish. A level playing field for all. One grade 11 student wrote this month in a letter as part of the prefect's selection process. Shawnigan has a way of changing people, shaping them into passionate adults that strive for the best. However, over this past year, I've recognized that not only were the people changing, but so too was the school itself. I wish to cultivate that growth. The prefects and grade 12s this year have done an outstanding job transitioning to a school that grows and adapts to better accommodate its students while still maintaining its core beliefs. Picking up my kaleidoscope, there have been moments of pure laughter, occasional madness, delight, tears, and heartfelt pride when I remember the time we have spent together. You have welcomed the Lamont family into your lives and shown a real generosity of spirit, and introduced us to the rhythms, traditions, idiosyncrasies, and community of Shawnigan. It's hard to isolate and capture the most memorable moments of this year with you. Perhaps Atusa's infamously croaky "Please stand" in chapel. The rugby players who chose to wear rainbow laces in solidarity with rugby worldwide. Finding myself singing along at the musical with my daughter Poppy and the rest of the audience. The then and now photos of the 5-year dinner. A last supper with the prefects in our garden. Finding myself the target of physics lesson water bombs or missiles at dodgeball. The glint in some eyes at the prospect of chopping the headmaster down in last week's soccer match against the senior girls. Or being chirped from the sidelines that I was in need of my inhaler given my lack of match fitness. But I am most proud of how the community stood strong in the face of great adversity and sadness earlier this month at the loss of one of our own. I hope that during the course of today, you find a moment to think of your loved ones unable to be here, whose unstinting support, daily sacrifices, and dreams for your futures have guided you to this point. It is your achievement, it is their achievement. They're with us in spirit today. I'd now like to invite our students to show their appreciation to their families, to the Shawnigan Parents Association, to the staff, and to the wider Shawnigan community for the unstinting support they have received on the road so far. On this note, I'd like to turn to some departing staff members for whom this is also an emotionally charged day, and to take a moment to thank Bridie Thomas, Takeshi Barnes, John Zacks, Vito Pasquale, Margot Allen, and Erica Dalrymple for their outstanding contributions to Shawnigan. All of you have individually enriched our world, and the school shall miss you. We wish you the very best for the adventures ahead, and I'd like the 6 prefects to come down and those departing staff to come, rather unexpectedly, down to join us. And then we want a photo of you, Erica. Let's get out of the photo. We sincerely hope you as grads, departing students in other grades, and departing staff continue to lead rewarding and fulfilling lives, and that for the years to come, you will act as our ambassadors, our network, our voice beyond the lake. And we look forward to welcoming you back to the shores of Shawnigan Lake and to hearing about your adventures, your friendships, and your futures. Many staff have told me that you were the finest grade 12 year that they can remember. Your grad packs, full of letters, photos, and cards, stand as testimony to the affection and regard you are held in. This afternoon, there will undoubtedly be tears of sadness. We've already had some in chapel. Of relief, of exhaustion, and of happiness. And you will have that sense of half turning to go, yet turning stay, as you draw strength for the next step on your journey. And as the coach or car you find yourself in this evening bumps over the familiar road towards the gates of the campus, please take a moment to reflect on the magic of this place. And at the same time, reflect that you are a part of a larger, compelling, and unstoppable hope which radiates today from Shawnigan. In the words of the explorer, Sir Francis Drake, and in the spirit of our founder, C.W. Lonsdale, I invite us all to push back the horizons of our hopes and to dare more boldly. It has been a great privilege to be your headmaster. Back to the logistics. As we move to the recognition part of today's ceremonies, a reminder about photos. Photos are being taken of each award winner and graduate in today's ceremony. I'd ask that all parents, grandparents, friends, let Arden Gill, our wonderful photographer, take a photo so that you can enjoy the moment with your family. Arden will send out a link to all of her closing day photos in the days following the ceremony. For a school with a motto, Parmam qui merat ferat, let the rewards go to those who have worked to earn them, today is the final stage in our closing recognitions. And of course, proud of being a boarding school, we start with our house awards. Just as we did last evening during the course of these awards, if a student is missing, please can heads of houses be alert and come forward and accept the award on the recipient's behalf. I'll invite the house director and, where appropriate, the head of house up to present these awards. The Spirit of Coatman's Trophy, presented by David Hidley and head of house Jacob Lillywhite. Award not to include head of house. It's awarded to the boy who has best exemplified house spirit in terms of effort, sportsmanship, and morale. And I'm delighted to say the winner is Paul Hoskell. The Duxbury Crystal, presented by Paul Doig and head of house Roberto Galindo, not to include the head of house, awarded to the senior student who best displays the qualities of integrity, honesty, and a healthy lifestyle. Winner, Will Harris. The Spirit of Groves House Trophy, presented by Katrina Cholak, head of house Maria Guadarrama, again not to include the head of house. This trophy, originally presented by Sue Nunes, the first female director of the house, is presented to the girl in Groves House who best exemplifies the qualities of dedication, leadership, and integrity. Winner, Miss Shayla Christensen. The Spirit of Kay's House Trophy, presented by Erica Plater, Head of House Sarah Rourke, the award not to include Head of House. The trophy is awarded annually to the young woman in Kay's House whose enthusiasm and citizenship best exemplify house spirit. It was presented by the Brum family to honour Henry Brum, winner Juno Dimdong. The Lakes House Award, presented by Wes Plater. This trophy, donated by the Pasquale and Wyatt families, is presented to the boy in Lakes House who best exemplifies the qualities of leadership, hard work, sportsmanship, and above all, integrity, for which John Lake, after whom Lakes is named, stood. The winner is Marcus Bergvinson. The C.W. Lonsdale Prize, presented by Anda Munro and Head of House Nate Galath, the award not to include Head of House. The award was donated by a parent of a boy in Lonsdale's house. It's awarded annually to the boy in Lonsdale's house who best exemplifies the qualities of leadership and example established by the founder of the school, Kieran Breen. The Renfrew House Award, presented by Andrea Caballo and Head of House Maggie Banks, awarded not to include the Head of House. The award was donated by Wendy Milne, former House Director of Renfrew, and Erica Dalrymple, staff member and a past parent. This award is presented to the member of Renfrew House who best demonstrates the qualities of loyalty, honesty, and citizenship. The winner is Sage Brimacombe. The Alexander Bailey Ripley Cup, presented by Andrew Doyle and Head of House Jojo Tanaka Campbell, award not to include Head of House. The current trophy was donated by Rod and Gaynor Samuel to mark the conclusion of their 16-year tenure in the running of Ripley's House. It is awarded to the Ripley's Grade 12 who has best represented the values, standards and expectations that Rod always embraced and role modelled. Actor, non-verba. And we have joint winners, Freddie Wang and Byron Chang. The Strathcona Schoolhouse Bowl, presented by Maureen Connolly and Head of House Talani Akinyosoye. Award not to include Head of House. This award, donated by Beth and Mark Hall, first house parents of Strathcona Schoolhouse, is presented to the girl who embodies the true blue spirit of the house. She's nominated for this award by her housemates for being genuine, faithful, committed, loyal, and dependable. Winner, Nicole Staples. Now we move to the academic prizes for this school year. They'll be presented by Wendy Milne. Please all come up in the order read. For grade 8, third place with 93.8%, Emma Bishop. Second place, 95.4%, Jessie Luo. And first place with 96.2%, Lucy Lavine. For grade 9, third place with 94.2%, Tina Chan. Second place, 94.3%, Grace Lavine. First place with 96%, Leah Lubarski. I'm going to get you to lead the jump in the race, please. Well done, Grace. For grade 10, third place, 94.6%, Marcus Chong. Second place, 95%, Saya Tanaka Campbell. And first place, 95.4%, Sienna von Rosen. Grade 11, third place, 94%, Sam Addison. Second place, 95%, Clara Lowe. And first place, 96.4%, Phoebe Stobart. grade 12. Third place, 94.6%, Nicole Staples. Second place, 95%, Benita Chang. And first place, with 96%, Jojo Tanaka Campbell. Head Student, Shawnigan's top academic award, given to the student with the highest academic average from his or her combined grade 11 and 12 marks. Name on honours board in Main Hall. Winner, 94.8%, Benita Chang. The Jason Yosung Park Scholarship will be presented by Captain Sam and Mrs. Jackie Park, who've flown in from Korea for this ceremony. This scholarship commemorates the life of Jason Park, class of 2005 Coatmans. This scholarship is awarded annually to a grade 11 or 12 student who embodies many of the character traits that made Jason so loved and esteemed by his family and this school. The winner will have the ability to generate goodwill in all circles and a moral compass that is strong and inspiring. He or she will embrace competition, demonstrate the highest standards of personal conduct, and be both loyal and steadfast. I'd love to invite you, Sam and Jackie, up and to announce that the winner is Dylan Chowdhury. Okay, good. Dylan, you're going to have a fantastic time, I'm sure, in Korea, following in the footsteps of many other Shawnigan students who've been welcomed by the Park family. The Aaron Ram Memorial Award, presented by Margaret and Anil Ram. In memory of Aaron, Coatmans 05, whose young life was cut short all too soon in 2010. This award will be presented annually to the boy or girl in grade 12 whose career at Shawnigan has been characterized by quiet determination and a positive, optimistic nature enhanced by an unfailing sense of humour. Recipients will be remembered for their consistent commitment to the school, the house, and their friends. They will have shown reliability and an admirable resilience in meeting challenges and overcoming them. Winner, Ethan Regan. The Robertson Award, presented by the Shawnigan Parents Association Chair, Dana Hahn, and Vice Chair, Camilla Heck. This award was created by the Shawnigan Parents Association in honor of David and Lynn Robertson's leadership during their 25 years at the school. This award will be given annually to a graduating student who has consistently shown the character and moral fiber that David and Lynn prize so highly. The recipient will have maintained a strong commitment to the values of the school's credo, "This is Shawnigan," despite any adversity that may have come his or her way. A $5,000 check will accompany the trophy to be used for the next stage of the winner's educational journey, hence the Inukshuk to guide them on their way. It's my pleasure to say that the winner is Maggie Banks. The Kenyon Chaplains Award, and I'd love Reverend Jim Holland to come down to present. This award was donated by the Kenyon family and recognizes the young man or woman in the graduating class who has so embraced the whole Shawnigan experience that their personal growth and development are remarkable. The award includes a check to help with future plans. Winner, Maria Guadarrama. Spirit of the Class of 1969 Award will be presented by Rudy, our Director of Advancement, presented on an annual basis to the graduating student who best promotes cooperation, trust, and class spirit in his or her graduation year. This award is chosen by the graduating class. Winner, Gustavo Sala de Melo Costa. The JMS Leckie Award presented by Janet Leckie Grisdale. This award is inspired by John Leckie's service to others and his commitment to making a difference. The Gold Book quotation is taken from Nelson Mandela, former president of South Africa. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived, it is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. Grades 8 to 11 vote for the grade 12 female and male student that they believe have made the most difference to the lives of others within the Shawnigan and local community during the course of this academic year. This is an award which captures service to others, community spirit, and humility, and a strong understanding of conversation, compassion, and community across the grades. I'm delighted and intrigued that the two winners are Jojo Tanaka Campbell and Atusa Farbood. Well done. It lives in my office and has had a special shine and polish for the occasion. The Donald MacLeod Anderson Leadership Award will be presented by Bruce Anderson, class of 77. Awarded to the student whose involvement and leadership qualities have contributed most significantly to the success of a particular program or the Shawnigan experience overall. This year's recipient championed health and wellness, visited boarding houses to talk to students on the sometimes stigmatized topic of mental health challenges, coordinated and trained all of the basketball minor officials, and ran peer tutoring sessions. Comes as no surprise that the winner is Mia Liang. The Doreen Dean Award for the Performing Arts, presented by Doreen Dean herself. The Doreen Dean Award is presented to a graduating student who exemplifies the qualities Mrs. Dean brought to the Performing Arts program during her 2 decades of service to the school. Candidates have demonstrated a selfless, enthusiastic, and passionate approach to the performing arts during their Shawnigan career. They have boundless love for performing and continually role model both commitment and collaboration throughout the creative process. Consideration will be given to those performers who are not afraid to take risks and have explored the multiple facets offered through Shawnigan's Performing Arts program. The winner blends the passion and compassion necessary to being a truly great performing artist. Winner, Amelia McIntosh. The Donald G. Ralston Award for the Visual Arts will be presented by Vicky Agate, Head of Visual Arts. Presented to a graduating student who has demonstrated passion, commitment and excellence in the visual arts during his or her Shawnigan career, has been an avid learner, devoting extracurricular time in developing his or her skills, and has encouraged others to pursue excellence in the arts by acting as a tutor and mentor. Winner, Elizabeth Esterhazen. The Captain's Trophy, female, presented by Andy Conroy, Assistant Director of Athletics, awarded to a female athlete in grade 10, 11 or 12 for outstanding athletic ability and all-round contribution to sports at the first team level. She possesses more than skill and athleticism. She is an individual who energizes and motivates others in both practice and competition, and in doing so, enhances the success and enjoyment for all participants. Originally chosen by the captains of the major sports, hence the name on the honours boards in the main building, winner, Sarah Rourke. The Captain's Trophy, male, presented by Tim Murdy, Director of Athletics. Awarded to a male athlete in grade 10, 11 or 12 for outstanding athletic ability, all-round contribution to sports at first team level. He possesses more than skill and athleticism. He's an individual who energizes and motivates others in both practice and competition, and in doing so enhances the success and enjoyment of all participants. Originally chosen by the captains of the major sports, hence the name on the honours boards in the main building, winner, Kieran Breen. Don't go too far. The Pooley Cup will be presented by Andy Conroy, awarded to the girl at first team level who has displayed not only a high standard of performance, but enthusiasm, good conduct, and sportsmanship in victory and in defeat. Name on honours board in main building, winner, Tatum Hayhurst. The Sportsmanship Cup, presented by Tim Murdy, awarded to the boy at first team level who has displayed not only a high standard of performance, but enthusiasm, good conduct, and sportsmanship in victory and in defeat. Name on honours board in main building, winner, Nathan Goliath. The Ravenhill Cup for Character and Commitment will be presented by Rod Samuel, Senior Master. He might not know he's presenting, but he does now. Originally presented to the founder by his friend and former owner of the land on which the school was built, in memory of his son who was killed in the First World War, this trophy, first awarded in 1917 for efficiency and citizenship, was presented to a student outstanding in academics, sports, and citizenship. For many years, it became the award for citizenship alone, awarded each term. To honour both its origins and its more recent past, the trophy is now awarded to the boy or girl in grades 11 or 12, the senior school, who has fully embraced all aspects of a Shawnigan education, with a particular emphasis on strength of character and commitment to our school community. As the motto on the cup says, candid and steady, winner, Roberto Galindo. The Groves All-Rounder, be presented by Gaynor Samuel, our wonderful Director of Admissions. One of the premier awards for a school with our philosophy, the Groves All-Rounder is named after Captain James Groves, former governor. First presented in 1961, it's awarded for all-round excellence in academics, athletics and fine arts. Name on honours board in main building, winner, Paige Doig. the Eagle Feather Award. Presented by the Eagle Feather Committee, I'd like to invite Atusa, Farbud, Nate Goliath, Brooke Beckingham, Malcolm Shields, Abby Dyer, and Mac Ratzlaff to come on down. In First Nations culture, the eagle feather symbolizes, among other things, wisdom, courage, and leadership. This award is made annually to the Shawnigan staff member who is nominated by the students as having shown the extra leadership and mentoring that distinguish that individual in an already heavily committed group of talented people of character. The winner will have shown a willingness to go the extra mile for the students and an ability to bring out the best in them, thereby contributing significantly to the overall quality of their experience. This beautiful trophy was hand-carved by artist George Yeardsley and donated by the Richardson family in June 2009 as a tribute to the Shawnigan teaching staff. And this committee have added an extra sentence to this award. The student committee asks that the winner accepts the award on behalf of all the dedicated staff here at Shawnigan Lakes School. It is with great pleasure I announce that the winner is Tom Lupton. They want a photo with you, Tom. Well done, Tom. You're an outcast. Stag Awards. The Stag Awards were created in 1961 by the school's third headmaster and have remained among our most prestigious awards. They were joined in 1982 by the Shawnigan Awards for those female members of the Shawnigan family who had distinguished themselves in exactly the same way. To signal the beginning of the school's second century, in June 2016, the awards were collapsed into one by the 11th headmaster and are now known simply as Stag Awards, irrespective of gender. The purpose of the award was and is to recognise appreciatively all those who have contributed to the life and well-being of Shawnigan Lakes School so that it can be said that Shawnigan is a better place in consequence of the contribution they have made. I'll announce the name of a winner. Please don't applause. Let me just give the citation and then we'll welcome them up. A Stag Award is presented to Jojo Tanaka Campbell, whose steady, consistent, cheerful and steadfast leadership has made such a profound impact on our school community this year and throughout his time at Shawnigan. Jojo sets very high standards for himself and encourages others to follow his example. As head of school, head of his beloved Ripley's House, captain of the prep hockey team, first 15 rugby player, scholar and friend, Jojo has excelled during his time at Shawnigan. However, it is commitment to helping others that will be the lasting legacy of this fine young student. Jojo has inspired the next generation of Shawnigan students to push to be the best version of themselves and do so in a way that embodies modesty, determination, honesty, commitment and kindness. It can be truly said that Shawnigan is a better place in consequence of him being here. A Stag Award is presented to Talani Akinyasoye, who has proven to be a fine ambassador for Shawnigan as a hard-working, diplomatic, and unfailingly positive deputy head of school. She's developed her public speaking skills and presented eloquently to the Board of Governors and many other audiences during the course of the academic year. Talani is kind and caring and has led with integrity and distinction. As head of Strathcona House and school prefect, she has consistently supported those around her. She's a genuine all-rounder with genuine sporting talent, ambitious academic drive, and a creative spark. Of Talani, it may truly be said that Shawnigan is a better place for her contributions. A Stag Award is presented to Kerry Walker, who is conscientious, dedicated, and unwavering in all that she undertakes, and she goes above and beyond the call of duty. She has proven to be a fine leader and ambassador for the school through her engagement with Model United Nations simulations, the Case Student Leadership Conference, and Board of Governor meetings. As a prefect, she has been humble and shown loyalty and integrity, leading by quiet example. She's unpretentious, with a steely determination, and simply gets on with the job, and is deeply supportive of students of all profiles. Shawnigan is a better place in consequence of the contribution she has made. A Stag Award is presented to Isaac Leroy, an unflappable character who has embraced all elements of the Shawnigan experience. In the house or around campus, Isaac has been a rock for his peers and for the staff. Uniquely committed to justice and fairness for his peers, Isaac speaks out for those that feel downtrodden and always finds time for those that are struggling. He's been outstanding prefect and deserves special recognition for his contributions to the Case Student Leadership Conference and Model United Nations simulations. His unique ability to speak to the student body, invited and uninvited, is admired by many, alongside his sense of fun and capacity to laugh at himself. He's absolutely not afraid to be himself. It can truly be said that Shawnigan is a better place in consequence of him being here. He wanted to speak, but I strongly discouraged him. Moving to the staff. A Stag Award is presented to Graham Lynn. A former deputy head, Graham's tenure in this role was characterized by his fair and open-minded approach to all interactions with students and staff. More recently, as a long-standing head of languages, Graham brought a calm sense of unity to the most diverse academic department in the school. In the classroom, his students are the beneficiaries of the passion he has for the French language. His well-honed, slightly sardonic sense of humor is legend, and even years later, visiting alum can remember Mr. Lynn's hilarious stories. On the rugby pitch, Graham's nuanced coaching inculcates the spirit of sportsmanship, camaraderie, and respect. The boys in Ripley's appreciate the care, attention, and straightforward manner he imparts on their behalf. He is deeply respected by students and staff alike, Toastmaster extraordinaire, and erudite man of words. Shawnigan is a better place in consequence of the contributions he has made. The next one has required camouflage, subterfuge, and downright lying. A Stag Award is presented to Rita Fairfield. We asked Rita to be on duty today in case anyone passed out for dehydration. Rita, who has worked at Shawnigan for the past 30 years. Rita started as a part-time cook back in 1989 and has worked tirelessly as a member of the kitchen team. She's in charge of the salad bar and also organises daily snacks for the Ritz and packed food bags for trips. She's respected as a genuine, kind, thoughtful and dedicated member of staff by colleagues and students alike. We're proud to have her on our team and deeply appreciate her daily acts of kindness, creative contributions to the salad bar, and the smile that greets all of us as we enter the kitchen. Her steering of the salad counter out into Marion Hall always remains on course in spite of student obstacles and targets. It can be truly said that Shawnigan is a better place in consequence of the contributions she makes every day in our lives. And the final Stag Award is presented to Reverend Jim Holland. Who manages one of the most delicate and important portfolios at Shawnigan and does so with universal support from staff and students. He's made chapel a welcoming space to all and accepting of students from diverse backgrounds. Through his addresses in chapel, he has succeeded in delivering inspirational messages with humour and compassion and guides us towards important life lessons, community values, and an understanding of his relationship with his cat Peekaboo. His citizenship goes beyond the school with his Camino de Santiago pilgrimage, Vancouver Island Sacred Walk with Bishop McMenemy, and commitment to the service club. He's a fine and valued teacher, a wise counsellor to the young, a supportive friend and colleague to staff. In a year of transition, Jim has provided unwavering support and thoughtful guidance to the headmaster and senior leadership team, and is the absolute embodiment of conversation, compassion, and community. For his love of the school and his service to students and staff alike, it may truly be said that Shawnigan is a better place for Jim Holland's contributions. Right, grad presentations. I'd like to invite Belle Akinyosoye and Stephen Wong, our board members and parents of 2019 graduates, to join me in presenting ties and scarves to our graduating class. I'm thrilled to hand over to Matt Clinton Baker. He's been practicing for weeks the pronunciation of these names. I hope we're including middle names as well. He's a polymath and multilinguist, so this will be a doddle.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. It is my great pleasure to present to you the Shawnigan Lake School graduating class of 2019. From Peoria, Illinois, USA, 2 years in Lonsdale's House, Charles Ash. From Dubai, United Arab Emirates, 2 years in Kay's House, Lainey Bakani. From Coquitlam, BC, Canada, 4 years in Renfrew, school prefect and head of house, Maggie Banks. From Canmore, Alberta, 2 years in Strathcona House, Annika Belleroux. From Shawnigan Lake, BC, 2 years in Renfrew House, deputy head of house and double Dogwood diploma recipient, Jamie Bell. From Courtenay, BC, 3 years in Lakes House, head of house and double Dogwood diploma recipient, Marcus Bergvinson. From Bangkok, Thailand, 3 years in Duxbury House, Parin Pashayud. From Shawnigan Lake, 5 years in Renfrew House, school prefect and deputy head of house, Jaden Ray Bowmans. From Dawson Creek, 5 years in Coatman's House, Jesse Boothman. From Victoria, BC, 2 years in Groves House, Megan Boover. From Victoria, BC, 3 years in Lonsdale's House, school prefect, Kieran Breen. From Duncan, BC, 3 years in Renfrew House, Sage Brimacombe. From Calgary, Alberta, 2 years in Groves House, Wendy Bryden. From Saanich, BC, 4 years in Coatmans, Kobe Bajoso. From Portland, Oregon, United States of America, 4 years in Strathcona House, Georgia Cannon. From Banff, Alberta, 3 years in Strathcona House, Sarah Carmichael. From Camrose, Alberta, 5 years in Groves House, Vanessa Cha. From Taipei City, Taiwan, 4 years in Groves House, Bonita Chang. From Taipei City, Taiwan, 4 years in Ripley's House, Byron Chang. From Hong Kong, 3 years in Strathcona House, Sophia Chong. From Prince George, BC, Canada, 3 years in Groves House, Deputy Head of House, Michaela Christensen. From Vancouver, BC, 5 years in Kay's House, Kaylee Christensen McDonald. From Vancouver, BC, 5 years in Renfrew House, Megan Christensen McDonald. From Mill Bay, BC, 2 years in Groves House, Lucy Crosdale. From Toronto, Ontario, 2 years in Renfrew House, Holly Cumming. From Celaya, Mexico, 3 years in Kay's House, Deputy Head of House, Daniela de Anda Usabiaga. From Victoria, BC, 2 years in Renfrew House, Eva DeBay. From Kathmandu, Nepal, 2 years in Kay's House, Junu Dimdung. From Shawnigan Lake, 5 years in Strathcona House, School Prefect, Paige Doig. From Suzhou, China, 4 years in Groves House, Crystal Dong. From Duncan, BC, 4 years in Copeman's House, Thomas Dryden. From Alexandria, Egypt, 4 years in Lake's House, Deputy Head of House, Momin El-Hendawi. From Jasper, Alberta, 3 years in Strathcona House, Deputy Head of House, McKenna Ellis. From Victoria, BC, 4 years in Renfrew House, Elizabeth Esterhuizen. From Cobble Hill, BC, 3 years in Strathcona House, School Prefect, Deputy Head of House, Atusa Farbood. From Cobble Hill, BC, 4 years in Renfrew House, Bailey Finnegan. From Surrey, BC, 4 years in Copeman's House, Double Dogwood Diploma recipient, Jacob Fraser. From Mexico City, Mexico, 5 years in Duxbury House, School Prefect and Head of House, Roberto Galindo. From Cowichan Bay, BC, 2 years in Case House, Dene Gendel. From Shanghai, China, 5 years in Lonsdale's House, Yang Zheng. From Haida Gwaii, BC, Canada, 4 years in Renfrew House, Trinity Gladstone. From North Vancouver, BC, 3 years in Lonsdale's House, Deputy Head of House, Dean Golestane. From Cobble Hill, BC, 5 years in Lonsdale's House, School Prefect, Head of House, Nathan Goliath. From North Vancouver, BC, 2 years in Renfrew House, Marcella Graham. From Shawnigan Lake, 4 years in Groves House, school prefect and head of house, Maria Guadarrama Maya. From San Diego, California, United States of America, 2 years in Copeman's house, Keigo Hachisuka. From Surrey, BC, Canada, 3 years in Kay's house, Avery Hansen. From Victoria, BC, 3 years in Renfrew House, Emma Hansen. From Rayong, Thailand, 2 years in Groves House, Namo Hansuan. From Shusan Hill, Hong Kong, 3 years in Duxbury House, Deputy Head of House, Will Harris. From Victoria, BC, 3 years in Strathcona House, Tatum Hayhurst. From Bangkok, Thailand, 4 years in Copeman's house, Deputy Head of House, Patapol Hasakol. From Shanghai, China, 3 years in Groves House, Angelina Huang. From Calgary, Alberta, 1 year in Groves House, Treasure Hutchins. From Terrace, BC, 4 years in Duxbury House, David Janse van Ransburg. From Shawnigan Lake, 4 years in Lonsdale's house, double Dogwood diploma recipient, William Johnson. From Vancouver, BC, 2 years in Duxbury, double Dogwood diploma recipient, Mitchell Cannert. From Delta, BC, 2 years in Copeman's house, Nick Carmel. From Piers Island, BC, 2 years in Groves House, Arya Call. From Victoria, BC, 3 years in Groves House, double Dogwood diploma recipient, Elizabeth Kay. From West Vancouver, BC, 3 years in Lonsdale's House, Brenner Kalava. From Mill Bay, BC, 5 years in Renfrew House, Hannah King. From Tokyo, Japan, 4 years in Kei's House, Maho Kishida. From Ladysmith, BC, 2 years in Copeman's House, Isaac Nelson. From Richmond, BC, 5 years in Lake's House, Deputy Head of House, Aryan Kocher. From North Vancouver, BC, 2 years in Kei's House, double Dogwood Diploma recipient, Annika Kurji. From Cobble Hill, BC, 5 years in Lake's House, and school prefect, Isaac Leroy. Move along, Isaac. Law from Los Altos, California, United States of America, 3 years in Renfrew House, Mia Liang. From Qualicum Beach, BC, 5 years in Copeman's House, Head of House, Jacob Lillywhite. From Davao City, Philippines, 3 years in Renfrew House, Abigail Liu. From Victoria, BC, 5 years in Lake's House, Karsten Land. From Cowichan Station, BC, 5 years in Kei's House, Amelia McIntosh. From Hong Kong, 4 years in Kei's House, Deputy Head of House, Stephanie Mack. From Terrace, BC, 3 years in Ripley's House, School Prefect and Deputy Head of House, Dalen Marlowe. From Souk, BC, 5 years in Duxbury House, Deputy Head of House, Caleb McHugh. From Winnipeg, Manitoba, 1 year in Lonsdale's House, Austin McIver. From Calgary, Alberta, 1 year in Groves House, AJ Mears. From Mexico City, Mexico, 5 years in Kay's House, school prefect, Carolina Mies Ranzans. From Saanich, BC, 5 years in Strathcona House, Dana Mills. From Cobble Hill, BC, 3 years in Strathcona House, school prefect and double Dogwood diploma recipient, Ali Milne. From Toronto, Ontario, 1.5 years in Duxbury House, Axel Leopold Lerberg Montgomery. From Merritt, BC, 3 years in Strathcona House, Gillian Moore. From Moscow, Russia, 2 years in Kay's House, Vinera Nasibulova. From Golden, BC, 3 years in Copeman's House, Deputy Head of House, Jack Newman. From Whitehorse, Yukon Territories, 3 years in Kay's House, Maddie Nicholson. From Celaya, Mexico, 3 years in Ripley's House, Juan Pablo Nieto. From Jasper, Alberta, 3 years in Groves House, Deputy Head of House and Double Dogwood Diploma recipient, Lauren Nissen. From Prince Rupert, BC, 3 years in Groves House, Taylor Northcott. From Celaya, Mexico, 3 years in Copeman's House, Enrique Ortega Navarro. From Duncan, BC, 3 years in Renfrew House, Gabrielle Owen. From Powell River, BC, 4 years in Lonsdale's House, school prefect and deputy head of house, Caleb Parkhouse. From Dakar, Senegal, 2 years in Copeman's House, double Dogwood diploma recipient, Sergio Nabumi Pereira. From Chimacum, Washington, United States of America, 5 years in Strathcona House, Esther Perrott. From Brasilia, Brazil, 4 years in Copeman's House, Caio Povoa Redivo. From Whistler, BC, 4 years in Duxbury House, Ethan Regan. From Victoria, BC, 4 years in Lakes House, William Reed. From Smithers, BC, 3 years in Kay's House, school prefect, and head of house, Sarah Rourke. From Penticton, BC, 5 years in Copeman's House, Oscar Rattel. From Umuarama, Brazil, 3 years in Lonsdale's House, Luis Gustavo Sala de Melo Costa. From Whistler, BC, 3 years in Kay's House, Victoria Saldat. From Tualson, BC, 3 years in Duxbury House, Maxwell Schipperheim. From Whitehorse, Yukon Territories, 2 years in Strathcona House, Dana Sellers. From Calgary, Alberta, 1 year in Lonsdale's House, Cole and Shaw Antonio. From Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, 2 years in Renfrew House, Melissa Singh. From Vancouver, BC, 5 years in Ripley's House, Marcus So. From Parksville, BC, 3 years in Strathcona House, Lauren Spink. From Grand Prairie, Alberta, 3 years in Strathcona House, Nicole Staples. From From Kelowna, BC, 3 years in Strathcona House, Kiara Stecco. From Manila, Philippines, 3 years in Kay's House, Haley Stevens. From Sayward, BC, 2 years in Lonsdale's House, Dakota Stevenson. From Prince George, BC, 5 years in Copeman's House, Cody Stockton. From Victoria, BC, 3 years in Lakes House, School Prefect, Carl Swanson. From Sacramento, United States, 4 years in Kay's House, Annika Tongaros. From Victoria, BC, 2 years in Renfrew House, Uma Turpenko. From Terrace, BC, 3 years in Copeman's House, John Ignatius van de Merwe. From Kamloops, BC, 2 years in Copeman's House, Josh Van Unen. From Celaya, Mexico, 3 years in Lakes House, Andreas Vasquez Hernandez. From Celaya, Mexico, 3 years in Ripley's House, Emilio Vasquez Hernandez. From Whistler, BC, 3 years in Strathcona House, School Prefect, Kerry Walker. From Shenzhen, China, 5 years in Ripley's House, Deputy Head of House, Wang Zhen. From Chengdu, China, 4 years in Duxbury House, Yi Fan Wen. From Shawnigan Lake, 3 years in Lakes House, Joshua Wheeler. From Fort St. James, BC, 3 years in Kay's House, Colby Wilson. From Ottawa, 4 years in Lakes House, James Wolfe. From Kowloon, Hong Kong, 5 years in Lonsdales, Aaron Wong. From Guangzhou, China, 5 years in Lonsdale's house, Yu Tong Wu. From Macau, 2 years in Renfrew House, Gigi Young. From Lagos, Nigeria, 5 years in Strathcona House, Deputy Head of School, Head of House, Olu Tulani Akinyesoye. And from Mill Bay, BC, Canada, 5 years in Ripley's House, Head of School, Head of House, Double Dogwood Diploma recipient, Jojo Tanaka Campbell.
Thanks, Matt. A fine delivery there. Next up is presentation to Head of School and Deputy Head of School. And I'd like both of them to come back up to receive a Silver Stag necklace. So, Jojo, Talani, come on back. Do you want to do these MTV? They got their party pop. Don't go too far. And as we enter the last few minutes of this closing day ceremony, I'd like to ask the current prefects to come forward and stand in front of the podium. Last night I spoke in chapel as to the outstanding quality of these prefects. Supportive, compassionate, they have led the campus with integrity, passion and distinction. They exhaust superlatives, and I'd like them to come and line up in front of this podium. A nice straight line. Let's go on the end, Jojo. Don't be too close, Sarah. And I'll now read out the names of the new prefects and ask them to come forward and to assume a position opposite the current prefects. It's with great pleasure that I announce the following for the future prefects 2019-2020 school year at Shawnigan: Sam Addison, Georgia Hall, Samantha Lillywhite, Noah Leibel, Sophie Miranda, Gareth Cooper, Nicole Lavin, Michaela Brennan-McCann, Reese Duchevich, Kathleen Hydley, Hallie Bryant, Ethan Anstey, Andrew Braun, Milena Joich, Reese Jobbett, Spencer Nasrallah. There's something deeply ritualistic about passing on the torch, and I ask the current prefects to slip back to their seats. Yesterday, the newly selected prefects discussed in the head's office what it takes to be head student and then ran a secret ballot to identify the leadership potential within their own newly formed group of prefects. To reflect our coeducational status, we've appointed 2 students to be joint head students for the next academic year. And the head students of Shawnigan Lake School for 2019 to 2020 will be Gareth Cooper and Michaela Brennan-McCann. You prefects just stay there. I need my bodyguards. Please return trophies to the general office immediately after the ceremony, and your name will be checked off as you return them. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the unsung heroines and heroes of today, all those members of staff who have worked tirelessly to prepare and deliver the logistics of today. The school grounds look magnificent, the food has been delicious, and the attention to detail unparalleled. You have delivered a wonderful send-off for our departing staff and students, and I'd love everyone to give them a round of applause. Impressed by the environmental responsibility of our most recent grad class, we will no longer be releasing balloons on closing day. Each member of the class has a popper filled with black and gold biodegradable confetti that they will release into the air on the count of 3. I'm nervous about being tossed into the lake, so I suddenly feel exposed. Okay. Are you all in a good position? No. Yeah, exactly. You've got each other to punish. Keep moving, guys. Keep moving. No, you're away. Get away from the microphone. Get away from the microphone. Get away. Get away. Take him away. Take him away a moment. Yeah, get away. Keep coming, guys. Keep moving to let... Okay, first of all, I think I'll do it in a different order. It's my great pleasure to declare that this school year is officially over. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! I love you, Mama. Let's go! Mama, I love you. And Dad.